major security breach at the IRS has left at least 200,000 Americans exposed and at risk of having their identities stolen. The IRS revealed full tax return transcripts were taken between February and mid-May using the Get Transcript service. Once on the site, hackers plugged in personal data they'd already stolen, got access to prior tax returns, in fact, unlimited access, and with those documents, hackers were able to file counterfeit tax returns and claim a whole lot of money. About $50 million in fraudulent tax returns already paid out this year as a result of this hack. Joining us now, an expert on scams and hacking, but an altogether great guy who doesn't hack himself, attorney Stephen J.J. Weisman. So, Stephen, how was this able to happen right under the nose of Internal Revenue?
Yeah, IRS and good news don't go together in the best of times. But here what's happening is this Get Transcript program. And the idea, people would sometimes use this because they needed copies of past tax returns they didn't have that they may need for applying for a mortgage or college loans or whatever. The problem is the fundamentally flawed authentication system. Because what they would ask is they would ask for your social security number, your name, your address, and then some personal verification information. And here's the problem. They would ask things like, what was the high school mascot at your high school? Or when did you last apply for a mortgage? Or where did you apply? And the problem is, for sophisticated hackers today, they can get this information online. They can go to the Registry of Deeds and find out when you last got a mortgage. Sometimes they just go to social media where people put this information up themselves. So the problem is, the IRS should have known about this. And as a matter of fact, in my blog, scamicide.com, we spoke about this flaw on April 3rd. And that this was going on. But the IRS didn't even really discover this until just about a week or so ago. So what they need is better authentication. They need dual factor authentication where people can, when they need to access something and to prove it's them, maybe have the IRS send a code to the smartphone of the individual. But the bottom line is this authentication system that the IRS and unfortunately many other financial institutions use is fundamentally flawed. We're going to see more hackings like this.
Well, with that in mind, the logical question, Stephen, is this. What should the government, specifically, what should the Internal Revenue Service do to protect Americans' information?
Well, there's a couple of things. One of the reasons that this hack was so important is the hackers would get information about past tax returns. And so they could adapt their phony tax returns to look more legitimate and get by IRS computer programs. However, the IRS still doesn't compare a filed tax return, the W-2 and the 1099, with the ones that are filed by employers until July or August. The employers send this into the Social Security Administration rather than the IRS. The Social Security Administration sends this over to the IRS in July when already the IRS has sent out millions of refunds. So we've got to stop that. We've got to have the 1099s and W-2s sent to the IRS right away. They need to be compared before a refund is done. And as far as any gaining of information from the IRS, there has to be dual factor authentication.
What about the people who were victims of this? What can they do now, Stephen?
You know, I'm so glad you asked this because there are going to be other scammers who are going to contact them, telling them they're from the IRS and they're going to help. The people who are affected will be getting a snail mail letter from the IRS offering free credit monitoring, and it will not ask for personal information. If you get a telephone call, if you get a text message, if you get an email telling you that you were a victim and then asking for confirming information, it's from a scammer. So to protect yourself, credit monitoring's good. It's also good to put a credit freeze, but don't give your personal information to to anyone who contacts you telling you they're from the IRS.
With a minute remaining, and we need to emphasize what you just said about conventional U.S. mail in slang snail mail, because there's yet another phishing scam. We can put it up on the screen, an actual email that was sent in by one of our viewers, and oh, it looks like it's an official document from the IRS, but of course it is not. Again, the IRS will never use email to contact you. Is that correct?
That is correct. They will never initiate contact with you through email, and they will not ask for personal information.
So they'll keep sending you conventional letters through the U.S. mail. Some call it snail mail, not to be discouraging or disparaging, just it rhymes. But the big thing is, we got to stay on top of this. Stephen J.J. Weisman, Skyping in from Amherst, Massachusetts. Sir, we thank you for your time. What do you think about this? You can email me. Love to get your comments also via Facebook and Twitter. And we're coming back.